Having extensively volunteered for cancer NGOs, we got chance to go and visit hospitals. That is where we saw a number of patients living on a tiny mat, piece of cloth, awaiting their treatment right outside hospital, as they cannot afford accommodation. Seeing this and wanting to reach out to them, we launched Access Life and provided them with not just accommodation but also necessary nutritional support, counseling and transport services to the hospital. We started our art-based program under the name of Alag, which is Access Life Arts in Ghana, to entertain these children and their parents. We were wanting all local artists to come and help us out in terms of entertaining and doing some art performances. So we started doing this thing every bi-weekly, wherein we got tremendous good response. Not in just terms of these children were getting entertained, but we are having a lot of volunteers to come and enjoy the show. In fact, a lot of times they planned these programs for themselves. They had this workshop. They would have all these bands to come, musicians. We had yoga classes. We had some artists who would come and perform on the sand art. So we also had a lot of these talented people also to come see the place and while entertain our kids and parents.
In India, out of 8 lakh cancers diagnosed annually, about 50,000 are childhood cancers. The most common cancers are acute leukemia, lymphomas and solid tumors. Childhood cancers have a high rate of cure, but medical treatment needs to be supported by an infection-free, cheerful environment and proper nourishment. Treatment may last as long as 2 years, but child is not hospitalized all through this period. At a time when the country is pitching for equality and equal right for all, it is a shocking revelation that girl children are not given proper treatment and care. They come from this environment of inequality, but they have to learn that in Access Life, everyone is equal. Fathers, mothers, boys and girls, so there is no difference in gender.
Access Life has individual units made for the families where each family of 3 gets a bed with storage facilities and shelves to keep medicines and other things. The mattresses are given for the papas to sleep on the floor, whereas the mamas and the children sleep on the bed. Every family cooks their own food and they are given a set of utensils to cook their food. The entire center has very high standards of cleanliness maintained all across the place. The parents need to be kept busy to prevent them from brooding and earn some self-respect. Hence, at Access Life, they are empowered by teaching them making some products like diyas and rakhis. They also have a counselor who comes in once a week to counsel the parents.
Counseling in this situation plays an important role because the children are very small. They are stricken with a disease like cancer, which is life-threatening. And in this case, the parents have to accompany them because the children are too small. They have to also think of other problems like finding accommodation in this place. They have to leave their families behind. The earning member has to leave their job and they have to come here. Many of them have probably seen the city for the first time. It's alien to them. It's scary. There are so many things to it besides the sickness itself. And having their own people away from them, they're not able to speak to their close family as and when they want to. That's when counseling helps because they're able to speak their heart out, feel a bit of relief. And that's how the organization plays a role in giving them a holistic kind of treatment to the whole thing.
Access Life is one big family supporting each other through a tough time. We came up with the idea of a shelter where especially the children suffering from cancer can get a hygienic, protected accommodation which is usually beyond their means. Often these hapless families land upon streets next to the hospital where the child is being treated. The filth and squalor leaves them vulnerable to opportunistic secondary infections, which often leads to hopeless parents who abandon the treatment altogether. For parents, having another set of parents by their side whose child is going through the same trauma gives them the emotional support they require as they empathize with each other in their troubled time. Though the main aim is based on providing the patients and their families with food and shelter, we strive to provide a 360-degree care center for overall development and a home away from home feeling. Our biggest milestones are the kids returning to their homes on completing their chemotherapy cycles successfully and moving swiftly on the road to recovery. Also, we take pride in saying that the positive impact and difference we could make in the lives of these children and their families is one of our biggest accomplishments.